Now let's talk about one of the most important factors that you have learned about free enterprise: profit. Jim Rohn is famous for saying profits are better than wages. You were starting to understand that at this point in your career. After about 15 years, you're a multiple six-figure income earner. How did you bridge that gap from struggling entrepreneur to entrepreneur who now achieves large profits? What were some of the keys? What were some of the insights that allowed you to create that transformation?
Well, I finally decided that somebody else's no wasn't my no. It was their no. My answer was yes, and I didn't care how many of their no's I got.
Good distinction.
And I just continued forward.
And what's the habit in the daily life of Jay NaPier today? Someone who's on covers of magazines. You are featured in a couple of magazines. You've been in Home Business Connection. You've been on the front cover of Home Business. Is that Advertiser?
Correct.
And so you're actually creating a niche for yourself. And you know, Mark Victor Hansen says, get rich in a niche. I've been watching you really start to get some publicity and doing some really serious advertising. What kind of results has that been able to create for you as an entrepreneur now?
The results are key. My day is really simple. I get up in the morning. I pretty much do everything I want to accomplish in a day. I work about 2 to 4 hours per day, 3.5 days a week. The lifestyle is excellent. I get to do what I want to do when I want to do it. And that's what I've been looking for.
I believe on the cover of one of those magazines I've seen a vintage Mercedes.
Correct.
Has that been one of the fruits of your efforts that you've been able to procure through this process?
Absolutely. I got an email one day. I was looking for another type of vehicle, and I got an email one day that it was available. And I said, hey, I've got to see that today. It took me till Tuesday, and on Tuesday I went and looked at it and decided. Bam. The guy wanted to wait till Wednesday. I said, listen, I don't have till Wednesday. What has to happen for this to be done today?
Oh, the art of asking.
Yes.
But let's talk a little bit about that. Let's talk a little bit about prospecting, because I know that people all around the world are watching this particular segment of our interview. And specifically, when it comes to prospecting, I want to ask you a couple of questions. First, why do people struggle with prospecting?
I believe it's because they get emotionally involved in the yeses and the nos. They simply hang up on what the other person's answer is. Instead of deciding, you're really just sifting and sorting and seeing who's ready and who's not quite ready and who really qualifies for your time.
What does that mean, qualifying for my time?
That means that basically when they decide they want to get back in touch with you, when they're serious enough, they get back in touch with you instead of you chasing them. I'm not a lead chaser.
You're no longer a prospecting stalker, is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
How or where did you create that distinction? I mean, many people go, well, what was the key moment? What was the turning point? Where did you bridge the gap? Can you let the folks know at all when that happened or how that happened?
When I decided that it was really a simple decision. Yes, they were willing to review the information, or no, they weren't. How serious are they? And at that point, that's when it really made a lot of sense. Where, hey, you know, one call, here's the information. If I choose to follow up, great. If not, hey, you know, that was their opportunity. Opportunity knocked once.
Whether self-proclaimed or other people proclaim it, you have become a marketing expert. Share with the people a little bit about how to create some great leads in the marketplace today, because it's a different environment in 2007 than it was in 1997, 1990 when I got started full-time. It's a whole different game through the age of the internet, through the age of internet marketing. Share with the listeners and the watchers a little bit about your lead specialties.
What I've done is just be me. I've just simply put myself out there, let people know what makes me different, and why I'm not just another spam artist out there trying to get somebody to sign up with something or send them $50.
I believe you're talking about the unique marketing proposition.
Absolutely.
So what would you say one of your top niches is when it comes to lead capture, lead generation?
I would say being unique. The USP is a big thing. You know, I follow up with everyone. I've pretty much decided that it's about relationship. It's not a situation where, hey, we're going to do all the work for you and all you do is sit and watch soap operas all day. it's about a relationship. It's
no
about
selling, you mean?
The old no selling, exactly.
No selling, no talking to your friends, I'll do it all for you. That's not what you teach, is it?
No, because I want to make sure people get paychecks. That's what's important. And generally those no's, what's missing is the no paycheck, because there's nothing involved in there. So, it's important that you have the relationship in that process so that the people you're getting to know realize that you're a real person. You're normal, just like everybody else.
You've become an excellent mentor, so here would be the real question. Why would I want to be mentored by Jay NaPier? What's your uniqueness that you could take someone who's basically not on the street, but someone who's right out of the job market, all of a sudden they're your teammate. What is it you're going to be able to do to assist them to go from trading time to dollars to creating value in themselves? What would be some of your key uniquenesses? Well,
experience is really important. Overnight success for me was 12 years.
Good answer. That's a great answer.
Overnight success. But, for me, I've had the experiences. I've been told a million no's. And I can take that 12-year process and make it a much smaller process. So experience and results, that's all I'm looking for. Getting results is an attitude. It's not going in and wagging your tail and saying, gee, can you really please sort of kind of get involved with my business? No, it's, hey, we have an opportunity. Do you like it or not?
I believe that's called posture. Can you comment a little bit as we begin to wrap up this segment of today? What does posture really mean? Is it the way I stand? I mean, is it my physiology? What would posture mean from your perspective as an entrepreneur?
For me, it's kind of an attitude. It's more about, hey, I'm serious about my business. This is my business. This is how I make my full-time income. And I'm serious about it. If you're just out there playing, kicking tires, hey,
right.
Moving right along.
Well, you're definitely not a tire kicker. You're not. You're the person who drives the bus.
Exactly.
As we wrap up, just share a little bit about leadership. Are leaders born or are they developed?
I believe they're developed. I believe there's a process we all go through where you're going to skid your knee sometimes. You're going to bust your nose a little bit here and there. That's part of the process because you learn from those experiences.